This happened today. Check the date, September 10th, 2025. Another high school shooting. What's that? You don't want me to cover this story? You want me to talk about the other thing that happened today? What's wrong? Is this not an interesting enough story for you? I mean, I get it. This is pretty commonplace, right? This is just a regular Wednesday in the good old United States of America, freest country in the world. You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe. Or, just like an alternate country. There are other countries that have common sense gun laws and they don't have this problem. You don't have to travel to an alternate universe. You can literally just see it working in other countries. But and that was a direct quote from this guy, by the way, if you didn't pick up on that. He said that about a week after several adults and children were murdered at the Christian Covenant School in Nashville, Tennessee in 2023. Worth it, he said. And that's a rational way of thinking, he said. I am so beyond exhausted and tired with this debate. I'm just so tired of having the exact same conversation every single time. It's the guns. It's the fucking guns, right? No, it's mental health. Well, you don't get to say that and vote for people who take billions of dollars away from mental health advocacy. You just don't get to make that argument unless you're going to say, no, it's not the guns, it's mental health, and we also don't want to do anything about that either. But it's the guns. The problem is obvious. Other countries have mental health issues, but we are the only country that has this problem with firearms. We are the only country that has this sick, deranged obsession with these instruments of death. There are no doubt going to be a lot of people in the comments of this video saying, dude, the tone here is all wrong. It's way too heavy, way too aggressive, way too soon. Where's your empathy? Where's your compassion? Where's my empathy for this guy?
Bill Clinton in the 1990s, it was all about empathy and sympathy. I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage, but
I have ample compassion and empathy and sympathy for Charlie Kirk's children. They're going to grow up without a dad, and they're going to mourn that loss for the rest of their lives. It's not their fault that their dad is who he is. None of us get to choose who our parents are. And I genuinely pray that his kids grow up to understand exactly what kind of a person their father was, what he believed in, and what he fought for. I genuinely hope that someday they understand that people like me spend our lives fighting with people like their dad over, among other things, the fact that we do not want to live in a world where events like this happen with such terrifying regularity, where the cultural response to events like this is so banal and shoulder-shruggy and painfully predictable, where we just know that for the next few weeks, the cultural conversation is going to be people like me saying, can we please finally consider the possibility of doing something, anything, to address the epidemic of gun violence in this country, and people like their dad saying absolutely the fuck not. It's simply a necessary cost of living in a free society. It's not a gun problem, it's a mental health problem, and guess what? Just for good measure, we're also gonna cut funding to mental health advocacy, so suck on that, libs. I sincerely hope with every fiber of my being that his children grow up to understand that people like me are fighting to build a society where what happened to their father does not have to be the necessary cost of freedom, where what happened to their father does not need to happen anywhere near as often or as easily. And I hope one day they understand that people like their father chose to make it their life's work to make sure that we live in a world where this is just an ordinary Wednesday and it's not even the top story.